Andy, a bit of a disaster down at Ashton Gate last night. Bristol City bailing out the Carling Cup at the hands of Carlisle. What was your view from the press box?
I think in nearly 20 years of watching City on and off, that's one of the limpiest performances I think I can remember. It wasn't just for defeat that hurt Bristol City, it was the nature of the defeat and the way they played. And to be honest, I think even the manager will have to admit his team didn't turn up on the night. Yeah,
it didn't seem to be the case that they were played off the park by Carlisle. It was just a sort of lacklustre performance from the City players.
Yeah, I just never got a tempo going right from the first whistle. Really, no disrespect to Carlisle. I mean, he got a few decent players, but they shouldn't. A team like that shouldn't be causing a side like Bristol City that many problems. And to be fair, you couldn't moan at the result. Carlisle thoroughly deserved to win on the night.
Carling Cup, often it's an opportunity for managers to get some of the fringe players playing. We saw Ribeiro had 90 minutes. We saw a bit of Andre Blackman. So were there some positives to come from it?
No. In a word, I mean, it was a difficult game for Christian. It's his first game back at that level for a year, so people have to realise that you can't pass judgment at this stage. Dad's not properly fit. Lee Johnson's still not properly fit after illness. He had to play most of the game. Nicky Maynard was sadly missed through injury up front. Again, they looked a little lightweight up front.
They had a change of tactics as well. First half was 5-3-2.
Yeah, Gary Johnson reverted back to the 3-5-2 formation, which has served them well previously this season. Quickly abandoned it at half time because they weren't creating chances and were basically losing the battle in midfield. So he switched to a flat back four second half, put Ivan Sproul on. We thought, well, at least they'll put Carlisle under a bit more pressure, and it just didn't happen. To be honest, Carlisle continues to create the best chances and could have won by more than 2-0.
We saw McComb go up front. Is that something new to try out, or is that just the fact that they're short on resources?
A desperation measure because he simply, with Maynard missing, didn't have another striker on the bench. Trundle's out of a cold for whatever reason, so he didn't include him in the squad. And we all know about the Velichka situation with the lad getting the injury and having to go back home, which is desperately bad luck for everyone concerned.
And news of a virus in the camp. What concerns are there on that front?
Yeah, I don't think illness can offer any mitigating circumstances for a performance like that, but it is having quite a bad effect on the squad. Lewin Nyatanga, Bradley Orr and David Clarkson have all gone down with this virus. We think it may be the same thing that Lee Johnson and a couple of the younger academy lads had earlier in the summer. They've ruled out mumps, which was one of the things they suspected. It's not swine fever, but they're not actually sure what it is. The boys have been isolated, kept away from the rest of the group, gone for blood tests, and the blood tests really just show a viral infection, but it's not anything that the medics particularly recognise. So a difficult one. He's got to assess a couple of lads today. Bradley Orr will be back in for training, and so will David Clarkson. Nyatanga's still not well enough to be allowed anywhere near the club. I think Gary Johnson will have to look at Orr and Clarkson today in training to assess whether he thinks they're strong enough to be involved on Saturday against Middlesbrough.
They described it as the worst performance they can remember. How does it accord in your memory of all the games you've seen at City?
Certainly the worst performance I've seen since, say, going Championship status. I think City set their sights higher these days, and rightly so, and they've slipped way below the standards they've set in the last couple of seasons, so that was very disappointing. We can all excuse bad performances. I think what shocked most people last night was the lacklustre nature of it. There was I think City only gave away very few fouls. There wasn't a booking, which kind of says it all. How desperate were they to get stuck into Carlisle and impose themselves? You have to wonder. I think had it not come in the wake of a game at Cardiff on Sunday, when they were well beaten, might not be so bad. And I think you really wanted to see a response after the Cardiff defeat, and we just didn't see that last night.
They have got a big game coming up though, Middlesbrough. Good chance for a response.
Well, a very tough game. Middlesbrough started the season well. Got that Premiership quality about them. You're not quite sure what side you're going to see on Saturday because of the injuries and illness. That's a worry. You got the loss of confidence to contend with after the last two performances. It'll be very, very interesting to see what side Gary Johnson does or is able to put out. And if we don't see a response, then maybe time to worry a bit.
Okay, thanks very much.